Off the 2-valve motor on it.
Did they?
Yeah, it's the same shit that come off of your
Well,
motor.
then that would be Leon. Either that.
Well, it's the same thing Crosby did to his unit. And that shit doesn't belong on there. But it seems to run on his, so we'll ignore it for the time being.
Well, I'm going to get one then.
So you gotta...
We call PC Industries, I'll get one.
Well, no. These rocker arms used to be $6 a piece rebuilt. They're over 20 something a piece. So you're 4 of them's $100 bill, and then you got to buy the injector ones, I think. Maybe not. They may have got the right ones on there, but it's
like I said, it's a turbo now. Just can't be half-assing shit.
I'm a detail guy, so I'm the guy that's gonna piss and moan about shit for you. So
well, like I told you, when I went to the store and I went and asked a computer, who's the best guy?
Yeah.
Then I went, okay,
Let's find out how good you are.
I'm trusting you, and I'm going to spend the money.
Well, somebody didn't glue this on. That's amazing.
And I told Leon
To fix it.
that build your dream machine. Build your dream engine, Leon. I even told him, I said, you can put a plaque with your name on it.
Okay, we got to get rid of that. You won't like that. They're single weight.
Okay. Let's see. How do you know it's a single weight? Tell me why.
There's only a pair of weights. Double weight governor's got 2 sets of weights.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'll show you the options.
Oh, I see.
This has got 3 sets of weights in it. This is for a 16 or 12, 92. Double weight limiting speed. The double weight refers to this pair of weights. That's a high speed weight. This is the idle weight. And when it comes out and stops, that's where you set the governor gap to this. And then the rest of the throttle control, speed limiting is held by the high speed weight.
Okay. How much do those cost?
Let's call PC and find out what they want. And then I'll call the guy in Kent, Washington, and we'll find out what he wants.
Okay. And the rocker arms too. If that's an issue, I want that taken care of. I want to be like, when we go down the road and all that stuff, I want to be confident that what's happening back there and all these moving parts, that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
There's no surprises.
No surprises. And
Come on!
And then when I go to these...
You got no zest for life where you could just pull over on the side of the road and go, shit, the motor blew up. I gotta go get out and work on it.
Yeah, I want to sit on another 5 fucking years. Or no, longer than that.
We're not talking about that shit anymore. But anyway, nah.
I know we spent a lot of time on that. So that has to be totally rebuilt then.
What? Oh, the governor?
If you put new rocker arms, you'd have to take.
All we got to do is just take the rockers off. I think just take the exhaust rockers off of each one of them. It looks like the injector rocker's got the late rocker in it because you can see the top of it. These are rockers from the 60s, and they had a big chit on the top of them, and you got to grind that off to put jakes on it.
Did he do that?
Yeah, they ground it off. They kiped them from somewhere else, but see the little foot on the end of the rocker?
Yeah.
That little round foot?
Yeah.
That is 2-valve. That doesn't go in this engine. That's what...
Well, you know what? I saw Leon was running around and getting old stuff that he had laying around everywhere.
That's not what you want. So, see this one leaning off to one side of that rocker?
Yeah.
Or the bridge?
Okay, so...
Well, that's not a good deal.
All right, we'll find out what that's going to cost too, because I'm not dealing with it. I'm not.
thing is, at this point in time, if we can get the pan on, and I can throw that governor back on it, well, we don't even have to put the governor back on to run it. It'll run without a governor. But I can get it running again.
Well, see, most of them are like that. The little
Yeah, it's off to one side.
saddle seat.
So in the old days, they had a... How did that work? Oh, it had the end of the rocker had a hole in it, and this pin pushed up through it, and then it had an elephant's foot on the end of it.
Yeah.
Kind of, the Series 60 copied that when they started building Series 60s. So
It looks like some of them are with this one.
that's injector. Those are different. That's a standard rocker for all of them. When you get into N series injectors, it takes a different rocker. Then they made this rocker. It's basically the same rocker they used in the 92s. And the pin's better. There's more meat in the rocker. This has got the old stuff in it, though.
All right, well, we'll deal with that. You know, we got a lot of money in this engine, and it's probably going on. Well, I know it's over 20,000 right now as it sits.
Duh. I can't believe he put that shit in it for government. The only reason that's in there, the only reason Detroit put that in the motors, is because they're you don't have to have it running to set this. You take the lid off of it, take the rack rod out, and set the idle up so it's got tension on it, and then you set it at 170 thousandths, and then just put it all back together. And
I'm afraid we're going to find problems in there too.
Well, it's real possible because you don't. I've gone through this. I've went through that melted down blower crap before, and the first one I dealt with was my brother's because he drives like an idiot, and then this one here, and the other one I dealt with was at Bonneville, and the deal there was we were making 45 pounds of boost, so the air going in the blower is like 500 degrees.
Yeah.
And it couldn't take it. So it seized the blower. It set a record, world record, and then it seized the blower up, and we got it back to the lowboy to haul it home. And I had to take the blower off the motor so we could load it. Put a blower on it so it would start and run. It wouldn't run.
Well, there you have it.
But again, it's a good choice to check that and make sure that blower's okay.
Well, I wouldn't do it any other way right now. And you're finding things that...
Well, see, the other side of that too is you don't have any way to charge air cool this because there's nowhere to hang another cooler underneath the rig unless you put it on over there by the transmission on that side of the bus and hooked up a hydraulic fan and $1 million worth of crap. And you don't need that. You need it so it runs.
Well, we're not going to be drag racing, that's for sure.
Well, okay. Point it uphill, push the throttle down.
Yeah, you got to give it, unless you want to creep over the top of that hill.
Yeah.
Takes 16 hours to go over the grapevine.
This motor here, if it had a set of 80s in it, would be a 300 horse engine. It would be the same as an 871. And it would do anything you wanted it to do.
Well, what have we here?
An experiment.
We've got a two valve
rockers.
head rod rockers.
Yeah.
And
single weight governor.
And a single weight governor, which we're going to have to take care of. And we don't know if there's going to be enough clearance in the blower to handle a 500 degree temperature, 400 degree temperature.
Well, it needs to handle a significant amount of temperature because if it runs like it's supposed to run, it'll be a problem.
Well, it probably will run that way.
Because you want it. I mean, you guys, okay. It's like I got to work on guys' stuff that was brand new, and they would cry and whine about it, and I go, well, what do you want to do? How much do you want to have? And they, and I says, well, here's what you got to do. You got to buy a set of injectors, and we'll put them in and try it, see what you think. And mostly 8V92s will put 400 horse on the ground, and there isn't anybody's other motor that's stock that'll do that. Cat won't do it. Cummins won't do it. Cummins won't even come close. And that's why we sold a lot of 92s in those years and put everybody second fiddle. And the thing about that is they work good. The lowest horsepower one I ever saw was 360 horse on the ground. A 4 1/4 cat would put 368 to 372 on the ground, because I got to watch them dyno them too. And I mean, this is capable of quite a bit of power. That's why the Allison end of it, I'm a little sketchy on them, because my Allison guy, he didn't like those things at all. And he said the only thing you can do with them is just fix them and go on, because there's no other transmission you can put in them, because it's got that angle drive in it.
Well, the only reason that we thought about automatic transmissions and things, power steering, is
I would do power steering.
One time at the in Dallas, or actually in Arlington, at the ballpark, which was the Ranger Stadium.
Yeah.
I was driving, and we were trying to find a parking place. We were going to go watch a ball game, and went back into this place, and there was no way to get out, so I had to turn it around, because you couldn't back it out. There wasn't. So I'll tell you what. By the time at power steering and my leg jumping up and down off of that clutch, because it was worn out. It was worn out, and I was a strong kid. I was a strong guy, and pushing that down and steering, and pushing that down and steering, and my legs started, because my muscles were in atrophy, and I couldn't do it. So I was thinking, if I was 20 years older, which I am now, and having to do that,
it ain't no fun.
I would have to hire someone to get in there and move it for me, because an old guy can't do it. I mean,
you'll have a heart attack doing it.
Those buses will kill you. And the clutch, the way they designed that thing, where you had to just push down on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if you're caught in a situation where you have got to get out, back it up, move it forward, and you're only inching it, you're just inching it around. Those things are boats.
Oh yeah.
They're not gonna.
Well, who did I work on? Oh. So, well, yeah. And then there's another deal. You don't. Well, yours is a better rig, but like Gary's rig, because they put power steering on his, but they never changed the caster in the front axle, so it drives stupid.
Oh.
When you go along, it's like a sheep. It wanders off.
That would drive me freaking nuts.
And all you got, it's got that torque elastic suspension in it, and there's no really good way to get the caster in it, because it's kind of like on A-arms and stuff, and you got to know the machine really well and work with them. And I haven't got a lot of experience with them, but I know what you got to do to fix it so it runs right. And the thing about yours is you can put caster shims in the front axle and get it to drive like a real rig. And power steering isn't bad, because it'll go on the drive bar.
Isn't everything you do with power steering backwards? Like if you're going to act like you're turning to the right, your wheel's going to be pushing it to the left, so the wheel will be turning that direction. And
it's like the steering gear that's on this International here. You could put it on yours. The only thing bad about your rig is the springs and all that stuff are out a little ways, so when you turn the wheels, they get hung up in the springs. Like these newer rigs, they narrow all that stuff up in the front, so you can turn the wheels real tight, and you can turn it. Well, I turn it around right between there where the Mercedes is. Right.
That's nice. I want all my wheels to turn at once, so we can just go sideways.
Well, you got to put a cylinder in the middle that pushes down. And then you go outside and just push it around where you want and then set it down.
Well, you want to call it a day, or
I'm going to torque some more bolts, and I found out we got another problem. So
what is it?
that's a PC Industry call here. See if they can get a weight and carrier assembly.
No, they probably can.
Yeah, but the problem is that you're looking at. I'll bet it's $300 or $400.
Yeah, I know what we're. Everything I do is looking at $300 or $400.
And I want to get a blue idle spring for that too, to make sure it's got the right one in it.
Yeah, okay.
Because that'll be.
No, that's a. Well, we had yellow, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, then the one I got is questionable, because after they overhaul them and throw those parts in a parts washer, the paint comes off. You don't know what you got.
That's right.
Unless you got another one to match it.
What are you, Forrest Gump? You don't know what you're gonna get. Life is like a spring, is like a spring box of springs.
Yeah.
You just never know what you're gonna get.
That's,
Well, Steve, we got bad news over here. We're talking probably $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 problems.
that's a single weight set up there.
And I asked him, how do you know that? And then he said, well, come over here, I'll show you. And this.
3 sets of weights in it. I'm carrying it over here. This is a double weight setup, only it's for a 16 or a 12 V92 or a 70.
And
71.
Leon put the rocker arms for the
2 valve in it.
2 valve in it, not the 4 valve.
Yeah.
So it's on it like it's sitting off to the side, and I filmed it, and I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to play that. I'm not going to play that game.
That's a single weight, and that's double. This is the idle weight. And that's a high speed.
You think this is the one that was on our bus?
I think it was.
That wasn't on your bus. That's something he found someplace, and he did that because it's way easy to tune up, because you just take the lid off the governor and take the rack rod out, and then all you got to do is adjust it so that I got the feeler gauge for it. Right?
And I could bet you.
It's a gauge like this, and you set it down in the governor there. Here, I'll show you. And it's this way you don't have to have it running to do it. And you set that clearance in there. That gets your governor gap, and it doesn't have to run. That's because everybody that was running them, that they'd lose fingers and they'd fuck it up and they wouldn't make it run right, or they just completely not do it, and then it doesn't run worth a shit. And Detroit got so tired of getting the phone calls, well, we got guys with fingers off and our shit doesn't run right and blah blah blah, so they put single weight governors on all in highway trucks, and you give it throttle and let off the throttle and go hoof and die. So you have to set the idle up about 700 RPM. So like on your bus, if you drop it in gear at 700, it'll probably spin the tires a little, about a quarter of a turn. That's probably a little hard on stuff. But this one, if we put a set of weights in it, it won't do that. And we ought to probably look at the blower and make sure it's going to be
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to say, I'll bet you $1 to every donut hole in the world that that's not going to make the grade.
What were you saying about the rocker arms? Is that what you already told me?
They're 2 valve. Well, I think I did, but you can see them here. They got that little round foot on the end of them. 4 valve.
Look right here, Steve.
4 valve stuff doesn't.
Look right in there. You can see where it sits on top of the.
That part. That's 2 valve rocker. See that one over there? It hangs over the side really, and it pushes on that bridge cattywampus.
So that was probably our old 2 valve
The 2
rockers.
valve. Oh, it's all your guts out of your 2 valve head on this one.
That's not going to work.
Well, it works because the Scotch rig had all that shit on it and it rammed, but it got the ring and it's put one of the valves out of it. So I can't tell you what caused all that. But
Well, you can't.
The potential is to have problems with it.
But what you can attest to is that that's a 2-valve rockers,
And it doesn't belong in this motor.
and it don't belong in my engine or yours. It doesn't belong in our bus. It ain't gonna belong on the top of this engine.
It's as far as getting it running, we can get it running with all this junk on it. It doesn't kill. It's a pile on it. It doesn't kill. But to make it run better, run right, the governors have, you got to do that. We really should pull the blower off and look at how much clearance is in it.
You're gonna.
But you're able to get this to work good.
Sure.
I mean,
Well,
like we'll need it. I mean, we want it.
Maybe.
I mean, we're not making do with it.
No, because we get to buy a weight assembly.
Okay, so we're gonna buy a weight assembly.
Yeah, we're not doing
And then the rockers, it will work, but it's not
Not ideal.
what we want.
No.
You know me and Mike, it's not what we
Well,
want.
that rocker's wore on a valve stem.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna.
it's got the middle wore out of it, and it's got edges hanging down. Well, it'll run a little bit, and then it'll wear that all off, and then it'll get lots of clearance and it'll cut these down.
Yeah, and then you're gonna run something else.
Well, it's one of them deals. I can't tell you what happened to Crosby's deal at all because I have no clue. They changed and moved enough shit you couldn't tell what was happened to it, and I couldn't even speculate. So
Well, I can tell you this: if you try to do something like rigging it up, you end up snowballing into something else, and then that's something else.
I mean, it'll run like it is right now, but as far as durability problems, drivability is this problem, durability is this one. This part here, I know if you get it in a hard pull, if it doesn't have clearance in it, it will die. I've seen it done twice by experts. They just...
He said they broke a world's record, but it seized up immediately afterwards because it didn't have the right clearance for 500-degree temperature.
Well, what does it take to get it right?
We got to talk to PC and see about the weight assembly. We can run this.
Well, I don't want 2-valve. The old, our old.
We can get. You can just tell them we need exchange rockers and then trade them.
All right. Well, we'll let you think about what we need to do, and you
Okay.
can talk to him.
Okay, that's fine.
That would be something I think you need to
Okay.
say, right? I mean, I can.
Well,
do it.
experience
I can do it,
and knowledge
but
talking
they
to
might
some
give me something I don't want again.
knowledge talking to
That-
somebody.
Swapping shit back and forth over the UPS deal is no good. They need to send you the right crap every time. That's bad because it makes them look bad and it makes it bad for you because you get to deal with how many times have I got to take this apart to fix it? It's like,
You know what we're after. Sure.
Well, hopefully just one more time.
well,
And nothing's perfect, and I
Sure.
know that.
sure.
Whether you do a perfect job, this thing could fail anyway. Well-
I have faith in these.
Well, you know what
I
I'm
know
saying.
that. I know this.
One little thing could go wrong.
Sure. Because we didn't get to see all of it apart.
Well, nothing's perfect anyway.
Well, and there's no oil on the bridges. That's not a good sign either. I'll oil them before we start up too. But as far as getting it to run, get the pan on it, get the oil in it, hook a battery and stuff up to it, and get it to go. 'Cause I don't think that's a problem. The problem is
Longevity and getting it right.
durability and having it do what you want it to do. And I know what you guys want. Get in there and turn the key and drive away.
Yeah.
And that's what I want too.
And you want to ride with us.
I don't want to have to go, well, I think I heard something funny back there.
You want to be.
I don't want to have to hire a mechanic to sit with me beside wherever I go.
If
I
we
don't
decided to go to Alaska and you said, I'd like to go to Alaska, but I ain't going with them because I know what's going to happen or could happen.
Nah. The thing, okay.
I don't want to freeze out there.
No, I went up there. I got into Anchorage a few days before Christmas. And the little Anchorage is shit because it's by the ocean and weather comes across there and it's warm there. You get caught in the Northwest Territories or down there in Alberta, Edmonton, those places, you'll freeze to death out there in your rig.
You'll die.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And-
Mom's just starting to eat some stuff, so I got to get back in there
Okay.
before.
We'll call tomorrow and find out what's available. I've got other sources, so
Okay.
we'll go from there.
We'll just.
He wants to tighten up and torque some more bolts. So.
How about
Well,
Finish
we wanted to.
Well, I want to be able to brag about this one.
That's right. I do
Because,
too.
I told Leon.
because it's a good machine.
I was
do
telling
too.
Joe. I told
want-
Leon.
I want you to brag about it, and I want me to brag about it, and I want to learn right.
Sure.
I was telling
I
Joe.
wish it was warmer.
It ain't bad. It could be way worse.
You love it warm. I can't believe you're staying out here. all
I was
day.
telling Joe about me telling Leon.
Clothes on.
I was telling how I go to the store and say, who's the best computer guy here,
Yeah.
and that and this. And, you know how I did. And anyway, I was telling Joe that I told Leon, make your dream machine, make it, and then I want you to put a plaque with your name on it
He just couldn't.
on this engine.
He just couldn't do it.
Well,
He
it
knew
takes
he
a lo-
couldn't do it.
It takes a lot of experience because you got to follow behind somebody that absolutely destroys one of these for you, and then you go, well, how are we going to make that work because they killed it? And that's like my deal at Bonneville. You go in the house. I'm going to finish this up. We'll go in there where it's warm.
Started out like a bomb in the middle of my heart. Lately all I do is try to keep from falling